The Cottonwood County Citizen proudly presents Athlete of the Week. Brought to you this week by Fortune Transportation of Windham. Fortune Transportation would like to congratulate John Irwin on being this week's Athlete of the Week. Fortune Transportation strives for excellence, and John's work ethic and his willingness to do what it takes to get the job done mirrors his dedication on the field. We are happy to have him as one of our employees and want to recognize his athletic success. I'm joined right now by Windham Junior John Irwin. John, our Athlete of the Week this week. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, let's actually go back to the conference meet up in Redwood Falls, and I can't imagine that there have been too many track meets that you've run where the weather conditions were as cold as they were on that Saturday. Tell me a little bit about what it takes to prepare and run in conditions like that, because you probably haven't seen that since cross-country season.
Well, for me, I don't like to wear like the long sleeve compression stuff because I find that gets in the way. And so usually what I do is I mentally get ready, and then like I don't think about the cold. I just think more about how it would be without the wind and the cold, and that makes me feel better.
And the conference race, they divided it big school and small school, which plays to our advantage a little bit because you don't have to worry about Marshall or Worthington or the Fairmonts of the world, but Pipestone's got a couple of really good distance runners, and one of them was literally on your hip for most of that race. Tell me a little bit about leading that race wire to wire, knowing that this guy is right behind you.
Pipestone has a lot of good distance runners, and I was actually surprised that he stayed like in that position as long as he could, because I thought for the longest time he's going to pass me. But I used the wind to my advantage on that. Mm-hmm. And so I had to sprint right when I got out of the wind to use a burst of speed just to get that little bit of advantage over him. Mm-hmm. You led that race wire to wire, and 1600 is kind of been a little bit of a specialty event for you. That's the one that you've won subsections at as a freshman. That's you've run that very well throughout your career. Then you move to Tuesday and you run the 32. What's the transition like between running a 1600 and a 3200? Well, it's a lot longer and takes more mental attitude, and you also need someone there counting your laps, because for me, when I get on like my third or fourth lap, I would be like, what lap am I on? Mm-hmm. So then I have to motion to someone if there's like not a counter there. Mm-hmm. But I think the 2 miles also what I'm competing for at these next subsections and sections.
Okay.
To get to state. Like, it was hard because it's hard to lead a race, because it's easy to chase someone if there's someone in front of you. Mm-hmm. And like your times are different, but to lead like a group of people for that long, it is really hard.
Mm-hmm. And when you're out in front, there's something about being chased versus chasing. And when you're out in front, knowing that you've got a group of really good distance runners behind you, that kind of plays with your mind a little bit.
I get a little bit scared because people are like, he's right behind you, and so I'm thinking like, I'm right here, and the guy's right here, when they actually mean he's right here behind you. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of scary. While chasing someone, it's more of a vicious game because you have to get in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Going back to cross-country season, though, how important was it for you placing second in the section meet for cross-country, and you passed Suda from Pipestone, and honestly, I thought if you had another 50 meters in the race, you would have caught them on a video, kid.
Tobias?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty huge because that's who I was chasing all season. And so now me and Suda are almost at that same level of running where we go back and forth of passing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Tobias, he's pretty good, but I'm pretty sure I can catch him.
Mm-hmm. You'll get a shot at Suda, I imagine, on Thursday at the subsection meet.
Yep.
And Tobias, of course, you won't see him until sections, but right now you're getting in the mental stage of knowing that you got to hold off Suda and a couple of other guys to just get to the section meet and get a shot at Tobias.
Yep.
The 4x8 on Tuesday, though, that's something that you guys haven't put together a whole lot this year. But the time that you guys put up was pretty respectable, 8:47, I believe.
Yep.
And I think the potential has been there all along to put a really competitive 4x8 together.
Oh, yeah, well, last year we had a 4x8 and we did pretty well, but this year our coach was trying different people because we had to replace Joe Fishnick, and our original team was Joe, Daniel, Evan, and I. Not in that particular order.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think that is the order.
Okay.
And we had to find someone to replace Joe. So she's just trying out all these different people and combinations until the Trojan Relays, they actually found our perfect mix of people.
Mm-hmm. And that one they ran looks like they ran Evan first, and then Nicholas and Daniel, who both of them had really solid cross country seasons, and then you anchoring it, and then you think about it, someone like Isaac could really fit into that mix, but he's awfully valuable to those sprint relays right now. So, now as far as your preparation for subsection, what do you do to prepare? How do you mentally prepare knowing that you're going to be in a 4x8, you're probably running the 2 mile? What's the preparation for that like?
A lot of prayer and just trying to build up that mentality that you can do it.
I've got 10 questions to ask to help people get to know you a little bit better.
For school-wise, it's chicken Alfredo, and for outside of the school for just running and stuff, it's the Boston Marathon burger. It's just it's a hamburger with lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, bacon, and then peanut butter.
Oh, jeepers.
It is really good. Ooh, cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper or Baja Blast. For movies, it's the Star Wars series. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Or the Marvel Universe. For TV shows, Parks and Rec. What is it? I think it was Madness in Me by Skillet. Probably sections for cross country. Michael Suda. Ooh. It's this. My favorite place to run is in Omaha at my dad's. It's kind of like an off-road trail. The path is this thin, and it's just all winding with tons of hills and such, and it's just really fun to run on. Immature but serious. Well, running, then also just exercising, if you consider that a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Also, probably the musicals and speech. Well, I hope to run for college, but more so I'm probably join the military for the U.S. National Guard.
Okay. Well, that should be all I need from you. Congratulations, John, and thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Brought to you this week by Fortune Transportation of Windham. Fortune Transportation would like to congratulate John Irwin on being this week's Athlete of the Week. Fortune Transportation strives for excellence, and John's work ethic and his willingness to do what it takes to get the job done mirrors his dedication on the field. We are happy to have him as one of our employees and want to recognize his athletic success.